Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in today. As always, lovely to spend time with you. Now today I'm going to answer a couple of questions with one video. A couple of you've messaged and asked if I can focus on some birthday type designs. So that's first thing we're going to do is make this beautiful birthday card. And the second thing, you've been asking about the different size of stencil brushes, and a few of you've got ones for Christmas and you wanted to add to your collection and were wondering which sizes to get. So I thought we could have a little look at that in our design as well. So this is what we're going to create, or something similar. You know what I'm like. It's on a 6x6 square card blank, but obviously you could alter it. I mean, this you could even make larger, or I know some of you like your rectangular cards, your DL cards. It would look beautiful actually going down a DL card. So again, you can mix and match. And as always, look, I've got some permanent ink stamping on my gorgeous envelope. So I'm going to put those over here. And I'm going to start with a piece of multifarious card. And this is 5.5 inches square. And I just get, so any permanent marker, and I'm just going to add my black Sharpie line round. And I always do this at the beginning because for me, if I do it at the end, my pen always whizzes across the design. And I know there are some clever people who that doesn't happen, but for me, it would. And for me, copy paper underneath. I like to hold my card quite near to the edge. I find that helps, and just drag the pen down. So that's all 4 sides. I say 5.5 inch square, and we'll get rid of that. And what I'm going to do first is stamp. Now, I know January can be a bit of a funny month for a lot of people, and Mr Mojo tends to go on holiday. I think, you know, he's a bit tired after Christmas and New Year. If he's gone and, you know, you just want to have a little play, I tend to reorganise my stamps. And what I try and do is look for stamps I haven't used for a while. And when I was looking at my stamps, I found this one, the Vine stamp, and I thought, oh, I like that, and I haven't used it. A little tip, it makes a gorgeous frame if you repeat stamp. Fabulous for a man's card as well. And you can stamp it in so many different colours. I'm just going to stamp it in black today, but what I did was I just used my acetate and thought, yes, I like it, just angle in there. But again, look, you could just, I think it's fabulous, and in all honesty, I'd completely forgotten about it. So hence, that's why we're going with this stamp today. So that one's the Vine. So I'm going to come in with my VersaFine Claire, the Nocturne, and I'm just going to ink it up. So do have a look, maybe reorganise your stamps. Maybe just look for ones, challenge yourself. Find one you haven't used, like I've done, that you haven't used for a while, and think, yeah, I'm going to use that today. Got a bit of ink on there, so we'll just clean that off. And so I'm just going to stamp sort of about there. Now again, it's a silhouette, so give that ink time to soak into the multifarious card. Just giving a little bit of a press on the leaves, because you want, as you know, the best image, so do just give it time. And for me, I have my copy paper underneath. That just helps me. I know there's some very clever people that don't need it, but I'm not one of those. But it's worth just, you know, learn what you like. Now, when I stamped this, I really fancied putting a bow, but we haven't got a stamp of a bow. So I had this idea that my butterfly almost looks like a bow. Well, in my head it does anyway. And that's in the mini range, the pound range. So I'm just going to ink my butterfly up and just add it. Now I do need to bring this, my head might come in shot, because I just want to place my butterfly right over there. So it looks like, in my head, just looks like a bow. Or this could be the trail. So what I'm going to do now is give that a blot. And also that just helps because VersaFine clay is a slower drying ink and I just want to give it time to dry. So while that's drying, if we look at the finished, I've decoupaged my butterfly and I've added a couple of roses. So I'm going to stamp those. Now, me being me, and I'm sure you're the same, I save every little piece of card, all my cut-offs, and we'll just stamp the butterfly. And it's really good because, especially if Mr Mojo's gone, you know, this is a great way of using up your spare card. And it feels really good that you're actually using it up because we all save it, don't we? Or is that just me? Now, this is from the rose set. There's a larger one and a smaller one. So I'm just going for the smaller one. Now, I'm just going to stamp a few. But again, what I tend to do is, while I'm stamping a few, I will get a few of my offcuts and I'll stamp quite a few. And then what I do is I'm going to add some colour. We'll give that a bit of a blot. Now, again, I'm going for a bit of a cheats way to colour. You know me. So again, if you haven't got a lot of supplies, I'm going to use two colours of my elements here, and I've gone for Lime Punch and Blue Atoll. So if we start with the butterfly, just in the middle, I'm going to add a little bit of green. Now, remember when I said about the brushes? So this is the size 3, this is the smallest one, and for me, this is fabulous. I can add shade around designs, but also things like this, look, I can add colour and be quite specific. So this is just in the middle, look. And then what I'm going to do, now I've got and again, I have one for my greens tones, and this is obviously my number 3 that's for my blue tones. And again, I'm just going in the lid, and I'm going to come in from the outside, look, and just add some blue up to where that green is and sort of blend it. And I'll come in this side, do the same. And then ink up again, there's enough on the lid there, I can just pick it up. Round we go. And how quick is that? And because I'm going to cut them out, it really doesn't matter if I go outside the lines. So it's a lovely, quick way of colouring. And look, I can add colour to my roses. And I will just, some I'll leave blank because I might want a rose of a different colour. But just to add a bit of interest to those roses, I'm going to come in with Midnight Blue. And again, look at this. This is my shade, my small brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit, and I always dab it on the lid, look, a little bit in the middle. I don't know if you can pick that up, but it's not a lot, but it will just make that difference and just add that bit of shading. Now the next bit, I'm going to come in and do that wink of colouring. Now you can leave it like this if you want, if you're making this card for somebody that doesn't like glitter, but I just want to add a little bit of glitter. So I'm going to use my wink of Stella, look, and I'm just going to first add it to the green, because obviously the green's a lighter colour, and I will pick a little bit up on my brush, but then I'm going to blend it, look, into the blue. And again, I do this before I do my cutting out. And that'll dry beautifully, and it just blends that ink a little bit. And then round here on the roses, exactly the same. But what I do need to do, just on a spare bit of card here, look, just check I haven't got, and actually I've not picked any ink up on there, so that's fine. And then they're ready just to cut out. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to cut them out now. I've got some, as you know, I have one of my little tins, these lovely storage tins from Lavinia, and this is where I put all my spare bits. So I've got one ready cut out, look, a butterfly and 3 roses. And look, it's jam-packed of all the little. So again, if Mr Mojo goes, why not get yourself a tin, make some little embellishments. Or just think of all the little stamps we've got. You could make yourself some lovely, and then you've got a tin of embellishments ready for them. And it will help because Mr Mojo will come back. He'll see that you're busy and think, oh, I need to get back. I've got to be honest, it really does help me. So what I want to do now, look, is add a little bit of this stenciling. Now, if you want to do your stenciling first, you can. For me, I like to do my stamping first. And I'm going to come on with this stencil called Leaf Trails. And yes, I am sad I have to write it on the actual stencil because I forget. And I'm just going to turn it round because, look, that bit of the leaf trail just fits there. And I think that will look nice. And we'll come in with lime punch again. Now, when it comes to the size of brush for this, if I use my small one, I think it's going to be too almost intense, too dark, because obviously the smaller the brush, the more intense of colour you get. So I could use my larger one, the number 9, but I want it quite soft on the edge and I only want to concentrate on the middle. So that's where the middle brush, the number 7, comes in. And this is just perfect for this. So in the ink and in the lid, and always just almost flick, it's a tickle, and I'm just going to follow the line of that stencil. Now I don't want to cover the whole card, just almost the area over the design. And as I say, it's very much almost a flick in the direction of the stencil. And then when I want it light around the edges, look, as I've got less ink on my brush, I'm just going to almost do a little bit of a blending. Let's lift that up. Oh, actually, I think that's enough. Yeah, just shows you it's worth checking because, to be honest, I'm going to stop there. I think that's enough colour. Now, it probably won't show up very much, but look how that just follows down there. Beautiful. And then it's nice and light at the edges. And as I say, that number 7 brush is just perfect for that. Now, what I am going to add, just going to get our lovely pastel pencils. And as always, I am running out of room on my desk. So these are going to have to open them and put them on the floor next to Eric. And then what I'm going to do with the white one is just add a little bit. And again, this isn't a grate. I just want to take the whiteness off the leaves. So I'm just adding, and then I'm just going to smudge it. The smudging does 2 things. It helps to fix the pastel, but also I just prefer it. I think it looks nicer smudged. Right, that's enough. I'll put that back. Now, what I'm going to do with my brush with the green on, we're going to decoupage this butterfly, aren't we? But I just want to add a little bit of colour to it. So again, look at this. I'm not adding any more ink. There's enough on my brush. And just very carefully, look at that. Now, I reckon you could actually leave it like that if you wanted, if you didn't want to decoupage it. So, before I add a few things, I'm just going to stamp the sentiment. Now, as I say, this is for a birthday card. So I've gone for the birthday wishes out of the heartfelt verses. Lovely little stamp set. If you've not got that one, it is so useful. And it's got with love and sympathy as well. And I've got to be honest, I found that very useful. We've also got just for you and with love. Like I say, very useful. I'm going to put that here, just there, just because it follows that nice diagonal. And then I'm going to add some Posca splats. Now again, if you're not into your Posca splats, you can leave this off. This is the glittery one, the yellow one, sparkle one. I use this a lot. And I'm just going to come in. So I've given it a shake and I'm just going to tap. And again, I'm going on that diagonal. So I'm going across the whole design and in just up into that corner. As I say, if you're not a fan of this, you can leave it off. For me, it just takes away almost the whiteness of that area. but it's not too much. It just adds a little bit more interest. And now we'll get our 3 little roses and our butterfly. And I've got the Bippity Boppity glue. So we'll pop butterfly there. And then, and with my gel pen, I've just added just a little bit of white onto the roses, just again for a little bit more interest. And obviously, like I say, I've cut them out, and we'll put another one over here. Now again, you could do this any colour, couldn't you? If you're making this for somebody's birthday card and say they loved pink, you could do your roses in pink, purple, and that way, you know, it's actually, it is, you know, beautifully for that person. Now, the next little thing, and my finishing touch today, that little finishing trick, is liquid pearls. Now, this one's prickly pear, and I'm just thinking it goes with the green tones. Now, again, this isn't for everybody. So, again, if you're not a fan, but this is where my little scrap comes out. For me, it can be a bit naughty. Can have a bit of wind if you're not careful, you know, Christmas dinner and all that. So I always just try it on a little piece of card first, just to check he's behaving. And then I'm just going to, and I hardly touch the page and lift up. So it's just catching and then lift straight up. And I just want to add a few and a couple little across here. I think we'll add one there and there. Maybe just a couple up here. I don't want to overcook it. I think that's enough. And this liquid pearls comes in so many different colours. It's fabulous stuff. Dries hard, but you do need to let it dry. So I'm going to cut this off. Again, I'm not going to waste that, so we'll cut that. And I'm going to put that in the bin, because if I don't, you know what? I'm going to put my hand straight in it. And there's the design finished. Got to be really careful and let those liquid pearls dry. But if I bring in, but that, how nice was that? Nice, simple, just so relaxing. And I love that delicate stenciling behind. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And as I say, if you're one of the crafters that's contacted me and said that Mr Mojo's gone on holiday, you know, like I say, have a go at just either reorganising your stamps or stamp yourself some butterflies or some roses or maybe the clock. We've got some lovely stamps, that the Lilium, that's gorgeous. Anyway, so many, you'll know which ones are your favourites. And just maybe stamp them and do some colouring in and relax. Maybe get a brew, cheeky biscuit, and just do some colouring in and some cutting out. Must admit, I'm a big fan of cutting out. It really relaxes me. So thank you for joining me. Have a lovely evening. And you know what? I'll see you again tomorrow. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.